Everybody, and welcome to another edition of Alby on the Road. It's another edition, it's another season, and what a season it's hopefully going to be. What a season we have in store if everything goes according to plan. On paper, it's all exciting, isn't it? We're going into this game in Cambridge today absolutely buzzing, which is fantastic considering we're keeping the momentum going from the back end of last season. Of course, it was disappointing losing to Wycombe in the playoffs. But we're going into this exciting season full of optimism and not so much expectation. I think we're just continuing what we had last season, really. I think everybody's just positive and everybody's so united, and we're taking a sellout crowd down to Cambridge at the Abbey Stadium yet again. Last season was a fantastic day out. Anybody that was there is probably going to be there again today. And in the not too recent history, I would imagine that despite the fact that it's local-ish, we might not have done that because we don't, despite the fact that we might have been doing okay, we didn't really have a direction of which we were excited to follow. And even though we came up just a little bit short last season, everybody's absolutely buzzing and in their element to see how this journey continues. We've lost Scott Twine, we've lost Harry Darling, but the 14 or 15, however many players it is that we've brought in speak for themselves. I don't know too much about them, I'm going to be brutally honest, and this is going to be fantastic to listen to in a year's time when I come back, and either they're shit or they're built themselves into Don's folklore in the same way that Scott Twine and Harry Darling both did, amongst others of course. But those two are departing, nobody begrudges them their move to the Championship. Scott Twine came off the bench last night for Burnley and hit the post with a free kick. He came very, very close to showing himself to the world what he can do at higher level, and he's gonna smash it. And so is Harry Darling. Nobody begrudges him his move to Swansea as well. He's going to flourish in that side under Russell Martin, so everybody's, I'm sure, from afar quite behind him. But on our side of things, everybody's just the united attitude between the supporters is just second to none. I've never seen this club so united. This club is going in a beautiful direction. If all things go swimmingly under Liam Sweeten and Liam Manning, which is contrast to last year. Of course, we all know what happened last year, pretty much almost to the day. We played, of course, Bournemouth away, and there was so much excitement throughout the summer about the direction of which we were going under Russ. And of course, when he left, we had that little bit of trepidation as to, are we going to be having another 2 or 3 years of transition? And it's been so fast paced. It's been such a sped up process, and the momentum with the Dons at the minute is absolutely is still there, and it could have been quite easy for a lot of people to have been upset and not so much buy into the direction of which we're going, given the fact that of course we lost Twiney and Darling amongst others, but we lost Jamie Cumming as well. We went away, but he's come back, and if you had said that to me the moment after that final whistle went against Wycombe, even before that, to be fair, I think even if we got promoted, I would have found it difficult to believe that Jamie Cumming would have come back, because I thought it would have been somewhere at the top of the Championship, so it's an absolute coup to get him back. The other players that we've got, of course, Dawson Devoy, Darragh Burns, Nathan Holland, Conor Grant, Jack Tucker. These are only naming a few. I can't even begin to name them all. Bradley Johnson, and of course Will Grigg back wearing that number 9 shirt up front for the Dons, which would be a beautiful thing to finally be able to give him a reception that he deserves, that he didn't manage to get when we last saw him in a Dons shirt, but because we're all in lockdown, of course. I'm going to take you with me to Cambridge today. I'm just up the city centre. It's pretty much bang on 9 o'clock at the minute. I've got a couple of things to sort out before I head on my way to Cambridge. And if it's as good a day out as it was last time when we went there in March, this is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to speak to some Dons fans. I'm going to get their views. I'm probably going to get a little bit pissed, but some things never change. Might be a new season, but Alby doesn't change. Come with me for the journey. Come on, you Dons. Right, so we're sat in the corner house in Cambridge, having a pint. Dan, say hello.
Hello.
Right, so When did we leave Milton Keynes approximately?
About 20 to 12.
And what time is it now?
1:05.
1:05, and we're already sulking our way into a pint, aren't we?
Very much so.
You're here for an away game of which you were going to travel without a ticket, but you've managed to find a way to get one. Explain more.
I have managed to procure a ticket. It was a spur of the moment thing. I was travelling back from my holiday yesterday. Thanks to the power of the Dons community, somebody has a spare that I'm going to go and receive very shortly.
But you were going to come here without a ticket just to be here, wasn't you?
Well, to be fair, it's a nice pub. I got my phone. Ultimately, what was I going to do today if I didn't come to the game? I was going to go and sit in the pub and watch qualifying for the Grand Prix, which I could do here if I didn't have a ticket for the game. So, no harm done.
Precisely that. You know precisely nothing about what's gone on with the Dons over pre-season, other than the fact that we've got a shit kit. Can you give me some pre-match thoughts and, you know, what are your thoughts on the pre-season so far with the signings, etc.?
No.
That's fair enough.
No, serious point. I know our record against Cambridge is really good. Played 4-1-4. I mean, from what I've seen, the players we've signed, we seem to sign some good players. Good to have Greg back. And I think, I mean, you look at, let's think back a bit to where we were this weekend last year. We were at Bournemouth, last weekend in July last year at Bournemouth, with all the crap going on, with Judas pissing off to Wales. And we looked at the team we had and we thought, oh, we're in for a bun fight here. And look at the season we had. It's impossible to say we're going to have a good or bad season based on the sum of their parts. It's easy to say that because Twine and Darling have gone, that, oh, we're going to be rubbish, we're going to be mid-table again. But no one last season would have thought we were going to have a season as good as we did. The manager's still there. We've still got people like Lewington. Jamie Cummings come back. Griggs come into the team. Yeah, for all we know, we could have a good run at getting promotion again. I think it's a really open year in League One this year, but I don't think there's any reason to be too downhearted, given that we've signed some good players and taken in, what, over £8 million between Darling, Twine and O'Reilly leaving?
It's remarkable that you said all that, because you didn't hear what I said in the intro. That's pretty much verbatim what I've said.
Well, that's good for people watching on the +1.
It's great that we've got a little bit of momentum going on, but just talk about the fans for a second. I think going into this game, as we've seen on the forums, etc., the momentum going in from the back end of last season, we went into that Bournemouth game, didn't we, with a lot of trepidation, because we thought, right, we had a process and it went a bit pear-shaped with the manager leaving. We thought that it might go a bit wrong. It didn't, and we had a great season last year. It could have quite easily gone pear-shaped, but it didn't. And I think even though it ended a bit disappointing last season with the defeat in the playoffs or whatever, I think the momentum within the fans is still carrying on, and there's a lot of excitement going into the season. Do you agree?
Am I allowed to swear on your podcast?
That's up to John. It depends on what you say, but swear away and he can bleep it out.
Right, okay. Oh, this is JT's podcast. Oh. I'll swear well, because it's me. He won't air it anyway. We've managed to finally, from a fan base, repair all the damage that Scottish wanker Nielsen did. I mean, we're not the biggest club in the world. Us selling out an allocation of 1,400 first day of the season. Okay, it's a local away game, but last season our away attendances were way up. The atmosphere's got a lot better, and we seem to be going places.
That's something that I said earlier. That although it's up the road, that in the not too recent history, we could have been playing Cambridge away and taking 700.
If that.
That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't have been so long ago where, particularly with it not being a train away deal, I've went to somewhere like Orient, where I would have thought we're taking 700 to Cambridge on a Saturday afternoon. That's not bad by our standards. And now, like the kind of the metrics gone. I don't know. I wave my hands. You can't see. It's radio. It's gone up another level, and it's good. It's good. It's vocal support. Seem to get around the team in the right way, and it's. I guess it's kind of a shame I don't go around as much as I used to go when I used to go 5-10 years ago, because it's kind of what I wanted back then. It's really great to see the fan base moving forward. And that whole generation, that first generation of MK natives, all kind of coming of age and pushing it forward. I guess that's what we all of us have been around since the early days really wanted.
Right, 2 more questions before we end this bit. Firstly, what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Oh God. Yorkie. Yeah, because I had a Yorkie yesterday. Yeah, nice Yorkie.
Only Yorkie because they're not for girls. And secondly, score prediction.
Well, both of our previous games here have been 1-0 wins. I'm going to go for a 1-0, and I'm going to pick as a scorer. I'm going to say Josh McEachran.
Brilliant. And just while we're there, both previous times that we've been here in the league, I can't remember the pre-season fixture, which was the Chadders game, right? Can you elaborate more on that?
That's right. We all got that shirt signed at Wetherspoons in the summer, and I went onto the pitch and I presented it to him because obviously he just joined Cambridge. It was a Tuesday night pre-season. I'm quite proud of that one. It's probably in a bin bag in his loft somewhere. I'd like to think that he's got it framed and it's in his house somewhere, probably where he lives near Cambridge. It probably isn't, but no, that's one of the things I'm quite proud of. We managed to pull that off all those years ago.
So this is our third visit to the Abbey ground.
Fourth if you count the friendly.
Fourth if we count the friendly. Sorry, yeah. And both times I've been here previously, we've won 1-0 and the goal's been at the other end. So hopefully we can have a goal at our end this time, right?
As long as we score it.
Oh yeah, as long as we score. Oh, what did you say earlier about George Williams?
I didn't say anything about George Williams.
Oh no, it was Declan. Sorry, earlier we were talking to Declan. Declan said Cambridge 1-0, George Williams from a corner. But yeah, so that was Dan McCullough, Lieutenant Dan. Thank you very much, my friend. Declan, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
So you drove us down today. Thank you very much. How was the drive?
A lot quicker than I thought it would be, so quite well.
Right, fair play. You looking forward to the game?
Yeah, started the season, can't complain, so yeah.
I'm going to let the listeners in a little bit of information between you and I. You've got a pretty crap attendance record in terms of coming to games and us losing. So last season, you came to the Sheffield Wednesday game, which I think we were on a 14-game unbeaten run at that point, and we lost. You then came to the Oxford game, which was the game after. We lost, so we lost 2-2. And then you didn't return for any other games until the playoff semi-final against Wycombe, of which we were then unbeaten by that point. You came to the playoff semi-final against Wycombe, and we lost. Are we going to lose today?
Quite possibly. George Williams playing against us, you never know. So I'm hoping to break the curse, but we'll see.
How do you rate the January transfer window, the summer transfer window?
It hasn't been since January.
It hasn't been since January. So we've got a lot of players in. Obviously, a couple have gone out. The key ones like Darling and Twine, etc. Obviously, a couple of others like Hiram Boateng and others like that. But generally speaking, we've signed a lot of players. Are you comfortable with the players that we've replaced, or are you worried? Or how do you think?
I'm a bit 50-50. On paper, they're very promising signings. And going by previous transfer windows, I think we have replaced a lot of very good players quite well. It all depends on how they gel, I think. And I think in a few weeks we'll find out if that's going to be an issue or not. But I think they're looking promising so far.
Right, 2 questions before I go. Firstly, what's your favourite chocolate bar?
It's got to be a Bueno.
A Bueno? Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, Bueno.
Very bougie. Brilliant. And secondly, score prediction.
If the curse don't break, 1-0 to Cambridge, George Williams, or 4-1 Dons.
4-1 Dons, I love that. Cheers, Declan. Still in the corner house, and I'm here with Gif. Gif, say hello.
Hello.
Right, so opening day of the season, momentum within the fans is still quite optimistic on the back end of last season. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think within the fan base it's good. We've got a whole new squad though this season, so it'll be interesting to see how we all integrate. And I'm quite confident. I think we've signed some good players.
Yeah, I think that's generally the feeling amongst the fans at the minute. Is everybody's just really optimistic and they're trusting the. I don't like to use the word process because that's off an era gone by, but humouring me for a second, the direction of which we're going, everybody's really behind it. We've had although we lost Darling and Twine in the off season, we've replaced them fairly well, and it looks like we've got a fairly chunky squad to go forward. And you never know how these sort of things go at the start of the season, but we're looking like we've got the capabilities of pressing forward again. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're definitely going to be in the mix of the top end of the league this year. There's some good teams in here as well, but today I think Cambridge thinks it's going to be a tough game. We had a tough game against them last season, tight pitch, and obviously they're probably quite a close-knitted team, I think, compared to where we're probably somewhat new. So I think this is a really good challenge today.
Yeah, it's definitely probably the sort of game that you want on the opening day of the season. Plenty, like local enough that plenty of fans behind us, tough enough challenge. But a real opportunity to test yourself against a really strong League One outfit.
Absolutely. And is it something like the 6th time we've taken over 1,000 fans away in a row now, which is, again, for us is fantastic momentum to see the fan base growing like that as well. Yeah,
just elaborating on that a little bit. I think in the past, especially since the whole COVID thing hit, or around about that time, I said earlier, this is the most united I've seen this fan base probably ever. And given the disappointment on the back end of the season with the defeat in the playoffs and whatever, I find it really, really heartwarming to a degree that going into the opening game of the season, everybody's still really excited and nobody's disappointed on the back end of last season. We're just looking forward to what's going forward.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a generation thing, and we've got some sort of fans who are now coming of age and sort of like starting to travel a bit more often on their own to games now, or with groups of friends. So we're seeing that a lot more. But at the same point, we've got a togetherness with the squad and sort of from the club as well. So it's quite easy to kind of fall in love with this club right now and to kind of keep following them. So long may it continue. I hope this will be a good season.
Right, I've got 2 more quick questions for you. Firstly, what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Chocolate bar. I'm going to have to go with... This ain't quick at all, is it? I'll probably have to go with Mint Arrow.
Oh, Mint Arrow, that's a good choice. That's one that I'd probably choose. And secondly, I want a score prediction, please.
1-0 MK today.
Not going to pick a goal scorer, or do we not really know yet?
Goal scorer, I'm going to go with Holland.
Nathan Holland. Thank you very much. Right, Dan, tell me what we have just discovered.
Pop-up Pirates French.
Right, we've discovered a French pop-up pirate in the booze that we're drinking at, and it is now, what? 20 past 2.
Yeah.
Kick-off is approaching. We've just ordered another pint and we're now focused on board games.
After all this, I wish I'd actually got a ticket to the game. I've got a ticket now, but I'd rather stay here and just play Uno Pop-Up Pirate.
I might have joined you, to be fair. We're looking... So, for the listeners who can't see what we're talking about...
Which is all of them.
We're looking at a window right now in this pub that has a load of board games in the window. Uno is there, Pop-Up Pirate. What's that other one in the middle? Buckaroo.
Jenga, Connect 4.
Jenga. Everything you want is here, and we've had it ruined by football. This is awful. We're going to come here after the game. We might give you an update later on.
It's like drinking at Argos.
1-0 Cambridge United, Dan. It went through the keeper's gloves a little bit too sensitively. What do you think?
Don't know. I genuinely don't know.
It was a bit boring before that happened. We were just talking about it, weren't we?
Yeah, we hit the bar in the first minute and then we've been battered a bit since then.
To be fair, Cambridge have had a lot of the possession, a lot of the chances, semi-chances since then. They've probably deserved to lead since all that.
That's the first proper chance they've had.
Yeah, and it went through Cummings' arms a little bit too sensitively, but Dons are on the attack. And it's not a penalty, it's gone out for a corner kick. We're still in it. We've played fairly well, to be fair, but it's been mostly Cambridge United who have been in the ascendancy and they've gone 1-0 up. So MK Dons 0, Cambridge United 1. Half-time score, MK Dons 0, Cambridge United 1. Martin, from the other podcast, what's your feelings?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. I think it's first day of the season. We don't really click at the moment. I think there's been an awful lot of passes going out of play and into the stand that realistically should have been going straight to the man. So, I'm not overly stressing, but I feel like we were a lot better on the first day last season. So I don't know what's happened there, but it's too early to say anything, isn't it? But it's been really poor so far. So hopefully second half will improve and then.
I'll just say at this point, Cambridge just look a little bit more organised, don't they?
Absolutely spot on. You can't, yeah, exactly. They're much more organised. We're pretty disorganised. Matt Smith, though, fantastic. He's been my standout man for the first half. So nearly scored after about 50 seconds. So we'll see, won't we?
I want to ask you 2 more questions before I leave. So half-time score, 1-0 down, and I want to ask you the big question first before I ask you the second question. Second, obviously. First of all, what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Oh, it's got to be Whisper. Like, there's no way beating Whisper. Like, absolutely fantastic chocolate.
Whisper and full-time score.
2-1 Dons.
2-1 Dons.
Franchise, we're doing it.
Other franchise.
We're turning around.
Godfather of the MK Dons Sit Down or Wisteria Club podcast. He's here with me. John Taylor, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Right, so what are your thoughts based on the first half performance? Because personally, I thought it was a bit of shit. What about you?
It was alright up until about the first 10 seconds, and then it went a bit shit, doesn't it? Fucking useless, really. You'd think, honestly, I said to someone beside me that you'd think it was them that made the playoffs last year, not us. That number, is it 22 for us? They're fucking useless, him. Well, he's not useless, but he's not very good, is he? They're number 7, skinning them every single fucking time, isn't he?
Right, this will fill your boots. That number 22 used to play for AFC last year.
Can you really see the one?
Yeah,
I fucking knew he would. No wonder they didn't fucking win the game. Jesus, we haven't defence. He's useless, him. Really, honestly. Terrible.
I just want to ask, are you despondent based on the first half performance, or are you willing to accept that it's
Just after pre-season, it's new season nerves. Are you willing to accept that it's new season nerves, or are you a bit way more disappointed about the season, the way that it's gone so far? Sorry.
To put a serious head on, it's just the first game, isn't it? We've got how many new players are out there? Couldn't even count how many new guys we got. It's just we look a bit disjointed, don't we? Really, they look a more coherent side, didn't they, really, to be quite honest, whereas we just look like a bunch of guys that have only just got together about 3 or 4 weeks ago, which is what we have, isn't it? That's what it is. It's only the first game, isn't it? I still think I don't know, it's only the first game, it's half-time, first game, what can you say? Yeah, we're shit, we're going down, looking useless.
JT, I want to ask you 2 key questions before we go.
2 key questions, go on.
Right, the first one's the most important one. What's your favourite chocolate bar?
Oh, that's a good question. Come back. Oh, I know the answer to that. A Galaxy, not a Galaxy. What's those other fuckers? The hazelnut. No, the hazelnut. Shows you how much I like it. I can't even remember the fucking name of it.
Fruit and nut.
Fruit and nut, but without the fruit in it.
A whole nut.
Whole nut. Oh, good choice. Oh, good choice. Well done. Say good choice. Sorry about that.
JT says whole nut, and half-time score, we're 1-0 down. Second half, what's your prediction?
I reckon we'll win 2-1.
2-1.
Originally, they were like...
Tony Hawkins, thoughts on the first half?
It was a fantastic first 87 seconds when we hit the bar, and then after that it's been utter shite.
I am inclined to agree with you, by the way. I personally think that the Dons have been lucky to get away with maybe a couple of goals going into half-time. I just don't think we've been there at all. But what do you think?
I know this is a narrow pitch. We've actually made it narrower. There's no width on the left whatsoever. And whoever 22 is, first touches and all that. First touch of a... can I say that on your podcast?
Crack on.
First touch of Dan McCullough.
Well, it's down to Jersey. Half-time score at the opening game of the season. Are you worried, or do you just think there's opening game nerves?
It's the first game, but even so, our players are much better than theirs, and we shouldn't be 1-0 down. And they let him walk through to score that goal as well.
Yeah,
I can understand he was in the area and they didn't want to commit too much, but they walked past 3 players and then just stuck it in the bottom.
The thing that I said is that they look a bit more organised than we do.
They're definitely closing well, and I don't know if it's them keeping the play very narrow, but there's just no width at all, and it's driving me mad on that left-hand side. It really is. Nothing in front of Louis. They're giving him the ball, but there's absolutely nothing in front of him.
I've got 2 questions before we end. The first question is one you might like. First question: what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Fruit and nut.
Oh, that's already been mentioned. Fruit and nut, Cadbury's, right?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, the Aldi one's decent, to be fair, as is the Tesco's one.
Fair play. Second one: score prediction for the rest of the game.
2-1 to us.
I'm here with Zoe. Zoe, give me your thoughts.
Awful. That first, once after we hit the crossbar, that was it. It just went awful. A lot of silly mistakes that shouldn't be happening. Dino's been open quite a few times. There's about 3 balls that should have been passed to him. We had enough space to be able to run down the wing, but they're just not passing it to him, and it's just first game of the season. I know we can't really say anything and a brand new team as well, but we should be doing so much better than this.
Goodness me, you are definitely your daughter, your father's daughter. I've got first question: what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Oh, Galaxy Caramel.
Galaxy Caramel. Second question: full-time score.
If it stays the same, staying 1-0. Hopefully 2-1, but I'll be happy with a 1-1 draw right now.
Right, and this is a bonus question because he's not looking. Sum Dan McCullough up in one word.
Freak.
He will love that. Zoe, thank you very much. Finally caught up with Dippy Dan. Dippy Dan, give me your thoughts on the first half.
Matt Smith's been the only one that's been any good, I think.
Oh, you sound really passionate about it.
Yeah, well, no. Looking at the first 5 minutes, I thought we were right. We hit the bar, obviously, and then after that, I don't know. Yeah, then after that, I don't know. Jack Tucker, he gave the foul away. He got the die. Oh, sorry. Right,
unfortunately, we had to cut there, but we can't remember exactly where we stopped off from. Dan Dan, you were telling me the midfield positions.
I think Matt Smith was the only one that really impressed me out there. Everyone else, I don't know whether it was just they're better or we're not very good. I thought Jack Tucker at the start was a little bit off the pace. I don't know. He gave the foul away straight away, and then immediately afterwards he got the dive in his favour. But I thought that was a foul myself. And then I think it was on him for the goal. I think he should have either put a foot in or done that. So he's not really impressed me too much. But other than that, all we've really done is passed it around the back and not done anything with it.
I've got 2 questions to ask you before we leave. And normally, when we do these sort of things, I get a lot of opinion out of you, and I've only just caught you for a couple of seconds. Matter of fact, I'm going to stop. Can I get your missus involved in this last little bit?
No, she's shaking her head there.
Or she might agree when I say it, right?
Okay, right.
What's your favourite chocolate bar?
Favourite chocolate bar? Whisper at the moment, mate.
Ooh.
Dairy Milk.
Dairy Milk, there we go, she said it. And, right.
Has that been a long-running thing?
Oh no, it's the question of the day. Okay, right, so, full-time score?
I said 2-1 on the forum. I think I said 2-1 on Twitter. I'm still confident. We just need to come back out. I mean, I think they've already started the second half, but we just need to come back out and actually look like we want to play football.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Cheers, Alby.
Cambridge United 1, MK Dons 0. We're sat back in the corner house, and I'm here with Declan. Declan, what do you think of the game?
Just weren't at it all game. Cambridge, far better side. You could tell that their team have been playing together for a while, and I think my earlier comment of the team not gelling right away has come to light already. So yeah, disappointing. I
agree with you. I thought that they looked a bit more organised today. The fact that we never had a shot on target is a bit disappointing. We tried to give it a little bit more gusto in the second half, but it just wasn't quite there, was it? You can tell that maybe the change of formation, we're not quite there yet, are we?
No, I think it's going to take a few weeks, and hopefully after today we'll see that we need another striker. I don't think Grigg is the answer until Mo comes back. If we don't sign a striker, I don't see how we're going to score many goals at all. So, yeah.
I know it's only the first day of the season, but do you think this is the sort of worrying signs going forward, or do you just think this might be a blip? Or how do you reckon the first game's gone? Do you just think this is a blip? Reckon that this isn't quite us yet, and we'll build into it as the season goes on?
Definitely a blip. As I say, I think the team are going to take a while to get sort of gel together. I don't think, as I say, we'll see that for a few weeks yet. I think hopefully they should grow into it. It's early days, first game of the season. Doesn't matter if you win, lose or draw, you can finish top at the end of the season. So,
Declan, thank you very much. 1-0 defeat in the first game of the season. Dan, how do you reckon?
Looked like a team that hasn't played enough friendlies, frankly. Looked undercooked, looked disjointed, didn't look like they knew where each other were going to be. Grigg was a passenger. Yeah, it looked like we were playing about a 4 pre-season friendly out of 6. It's almost like the season started 2 weeks too early.
Do you think it's setting a stall out for the whole season, or do you just reckon it might just be a bad performance overall?
Too early to say. Again, I think the team just look like they're not kind of communicating with each other. For all we know, they'll be at 4 weeks' time. Grigg will start firing them in, and it'll be absolutely okay, and the team will start playing really well. But yeah, that was terrible. But it's too early to draw any big conclusions.
So, whilst I agree with what you just said there, so we can basically just chalk this one off and just say this might be a bad. If we turn up next week against Sheffield Wednesday, we can just overlook this one as just a bad early start and keep moving forward, because all the stuff that's gone on in the pre-season with the new signings and all the positivity that's gone on within the fans and things like that's still there right at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, but Sheffield Wednesday at home, Ipswich away next 2 games. If we play like that against Sheffield Wednesday or Ipswich, Liverpool have scored.
We're watching the Community Shield and Trent Alexander has just scored a goal.
Then if we play like that against Sheffield Wednesday and or Ipswich, we'll get eaten alive. But yeah, I think I did wonder why we played so few friendlies. I think that's a lot of. I think that can be down to a lot of what we saw today.
I'm going to throw one out here and be very,
I
very.
wonder what that smell was.
I'm going to throw one out here and just be very, very front and forward and very controversial.
No, I won't go out with it without this conversation.
Was Filthy right?
About what?
Filthy Don on the forum about lack of preparation with the training grounds in terms of pre-season.
I don't think necessarily the training ground's a problem. We go to Ireland every year, don't we? It's almost like we've been caught out with how early the season starts. I said to you earlier, I kind of wish the Sutton game was this Tuesday and not a week Tuesday, and we'd have that League Cup first round game to get ourselves tuned up a bit. But obviously we've got Sheffield Wednesday first, so I'm not making any big judgments now. But I think there's probably a few questions that need to be asked about how. I'm not saying lax is the wrong word, but relatively short on match practice our pre-season was. I think that's what we saw today more than anything else.
Cambridge are a very good side.
No, they're not.
No, but well, look, in terms of opposition, how they lined up, they showed that last season.
No, they're not. They're rubbish. They were crap and we were worse.
What I'm saying is,
Cambridge, they took it. They didn't create anything else. We created nothing. They deserved to win, and that's about it. Cambridge won't be any better than mid-table. We won't be if we keep playing like that. Don't get fooled by the result. Cambridge aren't any good. They're really not.
But they deserve to win today, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, fair enough. Dan McCullough, thank you very much.